Perfect. It's been really wonderful talking to you and getting a sense of your journey and how you engaged with Good Morning Portugal before and now coming to the meetup as well. So you know where we are on a Wednesday.
Yes, I do.
And you know where we are as a community. So make sure we stay in touch, please.
Well, thank you for your efforts in bringing this community together, because you make it easier, more comfortable, less stressful for all of us
thank you.
by facilitating this.
Oh, that's lovely to hear.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Lovely to hear that. Thank you very much indeed. Hola, boa tarde, Munson here with an hola bon dia, because it's 1 o'clock in the morning here in Portugal. Up for you this evening at this unholy hour with Mrs. M. You're not feeling the May West, are you? But you're here.
Yeah, neither of us are feeling very well.
We said
today.
we'd be here, so we are.
Yeah, we are absolutely both full of cold at the moment, and Carl's also got toothache. And
but apart from that, we're fine.
It's like we're falling apart, but please forgive us and keep us going. Keep cheering us on in the chat room. That would really help us.
How's your day going? Oh, Barry's here as well. Good evening,
hey,
Barry.
Barry.
From the United Kingdom. Hello. And I trust a few of our friends in the United States as well. So do let us know who you are and when you are. Jacqueline.
From Portugal. So far just from Europe.
Yeah. Good evening to you, Jacqueline. Thank you for your very kind offer earlier on as well. Really appreciate that. And I want to learn more about the community garden that you posted about as well. Is that in Caldesterania? So do let us know. Tom Smith's in as well. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Bonoid from Ohio, where it is a toasty -6 and a wind chill of -17 degrees. I felt cold. A bit feverish, but we've got nothing on you, Tom.
No, we just had a hot bath each with Epsom salts to try and get us sort of ready. That's why we're both red-faced, and it's from all the coughing and sniffing.
Well, I've got my Portuguese medicine as well that I'm using, which is the avó's secret weapon, the Portuguese grandma's secret weapon if you're not feeling 100%. So I'm going to sip it on that.
I've got a Haniga, like honey and cider vinegar in water, hot water.
There you go. So you're halfway to a hot toddy. Well, between us, we've made a hot toddy. we've got both bits for that, and Barry's doing brilliant, which is great. And hello, but you two crazy kids should be in bed. And I do have to say at this point, I think we're going to rest this show and get our weekends back. No offense to any of you, it's been such good fun, as you know, because we love to be here, but it's just proved a little bit untenable. This, who knows, maybe we'll bring it back. But what I want to do is try it on a Tuesday evening at 9 o'clock Portugal time, which will lead into the Portugal Club. If you want to join the Portugal Club as well and get some one-to-one and group support, it's a project that I've been running for at least a couple of years now, and I'm Mrs. M, facilitating groups of people moving to Portugal online.
Oh my God, you've been doing it for ages.
Right, so very happy to help you with that. Yeah, and I don't make a big deal of it. I really love it. And I know that people have been in those groups. They become friends. They become friends with each other. They've moved to Portugal. They've got a ready-made network. And basically, if you sign up for the Portugal Club, you get to come to a small meeting, not live streamed like this. You won't have to bear all in public. It'll be a small group, probably maximum of 6 households. So if there's a couple of you, extra value if you're a couple, come along, and you have my attention throughout the week as well with anything, and the group's attention and access to my address book, my contact book. So I think it's pretty good value. You can sign up for that on the homepage, goodmorningportugal.com. Nubian, you to us three, honestly, what we're like. You've got the tonsillitis, haven't you? I don't have chick flu. It's tonsillitis.
What's chick flu?
You too. I think it's the equivalent of man flu, isn't it? Perhaps underestimating how poorly you've been, Nubian. So lots of love to you.
Oh, I didn't realise you're poorly. I hope you feel better soon.
What? They don't have sopa de frango. They certainly do.
We made some today, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. And I have to say, it was like drinking some incredible elixir. We roasted a free-range chicken. That's one of the lovely things of Portuguese cuisine and supermarkets. You can buy a free-range chicken, roast up beautifully. Mrs. M cooked it beautifully, and I made a soup straight after, and it was delicious. It really helped me feel a whole lot better.
Ooh, so did I leave the stock on downstairs?
Maybe. Do you need to go and check?
Yeah, excuse me.
All right.
I'm
glad I mentioned it.
For those of you that don't speak Portuguese yet, sopa de frango is chicken soup.
Yes, for the soul or not. Patrick's also here. Patrick Janusz Hello, guys. Hello to you, Patrick. And the community garden is by David Lewis Bantz from the Silver Coast Volunteers in Pinhal, Obidos. Oh, that's fantastic. Is that near Infusions? Is that where Pinhal is? I must go and have a look specifically at that. Did you leave the gas on? No, I can explain. Barry. Okay. As we normally do, we start with, well, there's a big news story at the moment. Let me share the big news story that people have been sending me today, as you might imagine. Americans head to Europe for the good life on the cheap. And it might be that this headline has been changed, in fact. If I start coughing, I'll have to put it on the screen and let you read it yourself. But here, look, Americans head to Europe for the good life on the cheap. And it's amazing. I think there are thousands of comments already, as you might expect. This is a Ron DeCason piece, 15-minute read, so I won't read all of it, but I can put the link to it in the chat. I might have done that already. It might be ahead of myself. But Americans head to Europe for the good life on the cheap. Excuse me. And there's a couple. Is that? Oh, yeah, that's an actual couple. It's not an unsplashed couple showing you what life could be like. A real couple moving here. And I think it's a bit clickbaity, isn't it? Good life on the cheap. I want to share other stories with you that, it's a rich picture at the moment with all sorts going on here in Portugal. That is one aspect of life here in Portugal, and a good reason to move here, I guess. But I was thinking earlier on, Mrs. M, that quantum expats, and that just shows my really poor grasp of science.
What's quantum expats exactly?
Well, you know, the idea of quantum is, for those of you who know, Barry might, for those of you who know about quantum physics, is it quantum physics where you have the understanding that if you are observing an experiment, you affect it as well?
Yes.
There is no moving to Portugal without having an effect. And that's my beef with this article. You can't just move to Portugal and extract a good life on the cheap. You will make an impact. And given that there's so many people doing that, they're all making an impact. And I think responsible moves to Portugal carry some sort of responsibility to contribute to the community you're coming to. I'm not saying you should live in a box or not spend very much money or anything like that. I think it's really good that people come and invest in Portugal. And our friend Bobby O'Reilly was saying, a lot of the government policies at the moment that are dealing with the housing crisis do sound like foreigner bashing. And I agree with him. And I'm working on an article interview with him about that. And we've got some beautiful, let me just take this off the screen. I've got some wonderful pictures. They've truly broken ground at Herdad de Mayo. Look at this. The model it's not built. That's a model. But isn't that pretty? I would just want to get my hands on that.
With lots of solar passive heating.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. So we'll go through those as well. We've got a little video. If you like trucks, Bob's here. I think Bob likes trucks.
What is the word for truck?
Let's not have the semi debate again. Is it that you're thinking?
I was trying to work out what it was. I was on a call
with
with somebody yesterday in Texas.
Giggling again, were you?
No, but they were describing their truck, but they didn't call it a semi.
Okay.
Or semi.
Okay. Right. Me, you, and Bob might be very confused after the last time we discussed it. But there's that article anyway. I'll put the link to that. Read that at your leisure. And my comment on that would be that we hopefully quantum migration is taking place where people recognise that they can't move somewhere and not irrevocably change it by being there. I mean, that's what we do, isn't it? When humans move about, you have an impact. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But where there's a problem is if we don't recognise that. Okay, so I think it's quite important, especially now. Laurie.
Laurie in the UK.
And Bob is here. Boa noite, boa tarde. And there's the link for that news article. Tractor trailer is what Bob wants to say about that. Okay, so let's move on to the English-speaking publications here and tell you what's going on. And like I said, I'm calling it a rich picture. Actually quite... depressing, I suppose, is too strong a word to use, but there's a lot going on at the moment, and Portugal isn't alone in facing all of these cost of living factors, but it is somewhat it's changed a lot since we moved here, hasn't it, Mrs. M? There were strikes and people were unhappy in the public sector and so on, but it seems to have intensified in this last little while, as it obviously has around Europe. Take Paris, for example. But today thousands march across Thousands marched. Oh, okay, I'm not sure if this was yesterday or today, but anyway, in the last 48 hours, there has been a march of people through the streets of Lisbon demonstrating against the cost of living crisis. Public sector strikes, these high turnout, disruption of services caused quite a blockage at Faro Airport just recently. Nice to see that Montchique revitalized 5 years after the major fire, which was pretty horrific. What a beautiful landscape that is. Texan investors very interested in Portugal. What would that mean? Ranches, would it? And sadly, shop closures in Portugal triple in 3 months between November and January. That's not great reading.
No.
Not the best of reading. But like I say, if you figure that you want to come here and enjoy what is great about Portugal, no question about that. How about helping and dealing with some of these social issues with your know-how and wealth and so on? You can't live in isolation. I don't think that's a good look, coming over here and living in isolation. To me, that's the worst kind of
actually, there are lots of opportunities to live rurally, aren't there? I mean, there's so many small villages.
Yeah, I mean like cutting yourself off from society and not contributing. Did I say isolation?
Yeah,
I meant
so.
I mean, there is good isolation and bad isolation, isn't there? There's the as you say, there are some lovely rural and quiet locations, and perhaps that's where people might start looking now as well. Did we just look at the resident? I think we did. Let's have a quick look.
Have you shared who's joining us later?
I haven't. If you could perhaps let us know. Look, here we go. There's the poster.
Hopefully, about halfway through today, we've got the lovely Melanie Wartenberg, who is running an event on March the 24th. So that's not far off. And she's got loads of different speakers, really just helping you to create a unique life abroad. So she's coming on and we're going to ask her a few questions. So if you've got some questions, then just pop them in the chat.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, look at that lineup. My colleague from Expats Portugal, Astrid, is there. And we'll be taking part. Our lovely friend Veronica, American in Algarve, Ali, who we've had on the show from time to time. I don't know Amy very well. Amy's from Expacity. Colleen, I know, doing great work in Alcobaça. Louisa Munson. Russ and Bruce, of course, we know Russ and Bruce, and Yvonne from Relish Magazine. I don't know Kathleen and Marlene, but maybe after that event I will. And
they're part of a bonus speaker package.
Who doesn't like a bonus speaker late at night? Okay, so we'll talk to Melanie. Hopefully, if we've got the time difference right. Sometimes that does fail us, doesn't it?
Because this is the time of year when I noticed this week that times in America had changed, and our time, clock changes don't go back for another 2 weeks, do they? So
Okay, good news here then in the Portugal news that US market contributing to tourism recovery. Good news. I don't want Portugal to rely too much on tourism. It doesn't seem like the best strategy in a global recession, does it? End of global visas sparks mass exodus of digital nomads and the uber wealthy. I think that might be a little bit of an exaggeration.
I think it is, because how many digital nomads do you know are on a golden visa?
Well, they're two different visas, aren't they, for one thing? And some might interchange and overlap on their Venn diagram, but I don't know many people doing that. I hung out with a lot of digital nomads when I was working in Lisbon, but I didn't really ask them what their visa status was. So that's a gloom and doom story. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it, with newspapers and media outlets? They do tend to exaggerate and vie for your attention.
Well, we've got a bit of doom-splaining going on, haven't we?
Yes, absolutely. 336 million from Lisbon cruise tourism. Two eyes in Lisbon for that. Controversial cruises, of course, that are supposed to be responsible for a lot of pollution. Texas investors make another appearance here. That's the Texan flag, is it there? Okay, a new bike network scheduled for 2025.
That's
that sounds
exciting.
Like fun in Porto, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And Sure celebrates Templar Days. And I was given my wonderful book. I don't know if you've seen this, The First Templar Nation. Let me come back. Thank you so much, John and Pam, for this. This is, First Templar Nation by Freddie Silver. Really looking forward to getting into that. And there's something about the Templars there in a Portugal news story. Snow weather warning.
Where is that?
Do you want to have a look?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Don't show it to the kids.
No.
Do not show it to the kids.
Yeah, they'll be like, can we go?
They'll want to go there, won't they?
Yeah.
That will be warning is for snowfall above 1,600 meters and the possibility of an accumulation of up to 5 to 10 centimeters. So not too big, not too much
Pretty,
of a
though.
downfall. It is pretty, isn't it? Nice. Okay, what else have we got on the front page of the Portuguese news? Oh, I think I hear Melanie about getting ready to join us. Algarve tourists need to feel like residents. That's part of a research project going on down there in the Algarve. Strikes crippled Faro Airport. That was a bit of an awkward day, I think, a couple of days ago, where people were fainting in the queue.
Really? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yes. It was pretty difficult. And look, where are the most empty houses in Portugal? That's what we should have a look at, shouldn't we? Or did we look at this last week, Mrs. M? Do you remember looking at this?
No, I think we looked at the houses that had gone up most in value over the last year.
Okay, all right. So here we can
and
find out.
I wonder if they correlate. So, like the house prices that had shot up the most from the article last week was they were in Lisbon, Porto, and then up in the north.
Let's have a look, shall we?
So let's see.
According to data compiled by Poor Data, which is, it's not a great name for a company, is it? Poor Data.
No, it's terrible.
Which is, we are the statistics company Poor Data, which is based on the figures.
POR is like poor, like four.
Oh, okay. And a shortening of Portugal. I suppose they didn't check that.
Yeah,
with a global copywriter. Or an English-speaking copywriter, which is based on figures from the 2021 census. There are almost 48,000 vacant houses in Lisbon. There's your housing crisis, right? More than double the municipality that appears in second place in the ranking, Porto, where there are 20,270 vacant houses. Sintra with just over 17,000, Coimbra with nearly 16,000, and Vila Nova de Gaia with more than 13,500, completing the top five. At the other end of the scale, Corvo, Barrancos, Lajes de Flores, Vila de Rei and Mourão, which are the municipalities. Is this some sort of meme that I need to guess? Looks like a riddle, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like a sewing machine, a sports bra, and a
tuk-tuk, and a luxury.
Is that a USB lighter shaped like a gun?
It could be
and then there's a pop-up.
Well, that frightens everybody when you get that out of the library, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Housing is currently at the centre of the debate in Portugal, with the country experiencing a housing crisis, which has become more acute in recent years. In order to mitigate the problem and increase the supply of houses, mainly for rent, the government designed the Mais Habitação package of measures, which is under public discussion and generating a strong wave of controversy.
Yikes.
What's this? These numbers are quite meaningless if not put in relation to the city's population. That's a fair point. Fair point.
What I find interesting is, so if we go back to the news that we had last week, that like Lisbon and Porto had increased most in price. The third place was in the north, and yet they don't have a surplus of houses or vacant houses. So that to me is an indication that the north is actually highly sought after at the moment.
Yes.
So there's not so many vacant houses, and the cost of the houses is shooting up.
Yeah. And central doesn't figure really, does it?
No. I mean, that's the interesting thing, for those of you who might fancy, living off the land, in particular, somewhere that might have a well or, somewhere where you can just like rebuild something, then, it's pretty, it hasn't really changed. When we were driving through central Portugal recently, it just looked the same, didn't it? It didn't look like it had really changed much.
Yep. So there's a clue.
Yeah.
If you are getting concerned,
it seems the most resilient from my perspective.
Well, 60% of the action in Portugal, roughly speaking, is in the Lisbon, Porto, and the Marginal, the coast.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more to Portugal than that. I mean, that 60% is in quite a tiny footprint compared to the vastness of Portugal. And I saw some beautiful pictures of Monsanto today. To me, a way of dealing with the housing crisis is to deal with that, is to help people get back into the countryside. And part of the problem we've got is this whole urbanization effect of people moving to the cities, local people moving to the cities, and people from around the world wanting to come to the great Portuguese cities. And there is so much more in the interior as well. So I'm hoping there's going to be some action in the interior. We'll talk to Melanie in just a moment. Should we see if we can find a good news story?
Are you okay hanging out for another 5 minutes, or do you want to give us a thumbs up when you're ready to come on?
Okay.
I mean, Melanie could come on a little bit earlier if she wanted.
Okay, let me just,
okay?
I'm not sure because I wasn't sure what she was saying, but she can chat to us in the private chat.
Yeah.
Send us a message there. And what I'll do now, I'm looking for good news. And these beautiful houses that are part of the Cidade da Meia, our channel sponsor.
Yeah.
I love the work Bobby's doing. And I think you might too when you see these wonderful pictures. Thank you for all the translations of chicken soup tonight, everybody. Appreciate that. Look at these. Let's just give you a quick taste of what's going on in Cidade da Meia. And
now they're not for everyone, are they? I mean, I do like them for sure.
I like them more and more.
Yeah, they do have that, the ability to move straight in and not have to do anything with them.
Not just
so if
yet.
you are like absolutely, you can't move in just yet. But if you are needing, like for instance, if you're a digital nomad and you need to work in between Lisbon and your home,
these are perfect. Jump on the train into town. It's 12 kilometers, I think, and it takes about 15-20 minutes to get into town. And you are energy independent with these. Those that solar array is independent of the grid. And you can also sell back to the grid. And Mercedes, Bobby's amazing with how he connects with people and networks with people and comes up with incredible ideas, including the architect of this, I should say, Jalal Elali. If you look at his work, I mean, in fact, I'll do that now. His work is extraordinary, absolutely beautiful. Let's have a quick look at some of the other work he's been doing. And this is the sort of work that you're going to be able to see now in Sejal, south of the river, which is beautiful. Sorry, quick cough there. Here we go. Look, here is, let me just take that off the screen, and you will see some of his incredible architecture around the world.
Wow,
do you like these, Mrs. M?
They're interesting, aren't they?
Look at this.
I mean, I still fancy
a lot of it in the Middle East.
I still do have my heart set on some kind of
where are they gone?
Dome.
a geodesic.
Yeah, I still fancy kind of living in a dome. But
yeah, okay. Well, let's see if he's got any dome. Look at that. Do you like that eccentric shape?
It's interesting.
No, then.
No, I do.
I think these are amazing. Look at them.
I'm more interested in finding the right place.
Right. Okay. Look at that.
They're really interesting designs.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why.
I like having that much light.
Yeah. These are beautiful.
Especially if you've got a beautiful view.
Yeah. Look at this. Quite amazing. Great work there. That will be the architect who's working on Cidade da Meia. That would be. Let me come back to the little plate on the model. I do love these little models. That is Jalal Elali, and there is the model. Reminds me of Zoolander. Do you remember? He's showing the model. Right. Okay. Let's bring her onto the screen then, shall we? We have a link now for you, Colleen. Thank you for asking for it. That's fantastic. What we need to do, of course, is give Melanie a nice big round of applause.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, Melanie, how are you?
So good to see you. Thank you for being here. I don't know if you saw at the beginning, me and Mrs. M are a little bit poorly tonight, but we said we'd be here.
Full of cold.
So we are. I'm delighted to see you. Absolutely delighted to see you.
It's we've got Michael Bliss in the chat, and I believe it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
So happy birthday to you.
Parabéns, je vous say. You're both looking great, even after 1 a.m. Cheers, Michael. I hope you've had a great day with your birthday.
Yeah.
Melanie, here's the link to the event. It is lifeabroadcoach.com, and you are doing a Portugal special. Let's have a look at the exact date, and the lineup is here, 24th of March, with these wonderful speakers. Please tell us more about it and how you got the idea.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so happy to be here, and I am a coach and consultant for people who want to move all around the world. And I'm doing this amazing event because so many people are interested in moving to Portugal. And so I've gathered together a bunch of expert speakers, including you folks who have their own personal experience moving from another country to Portugal. And then also folks who offer amazing resources like this show, as well as written resources, business resources, banking help, NIF number help, real estate help, all kinds of things to help other folks have a successful move to Portugal or figure out how to do that, reduce their stress, the unknown, fill in the blanks, and help them to have a good transition and make their dream come true to move to Portugal. And Portugal is so popular these days for Americans, for Canadians as well, and folks from many other countries around the world as well, as you know. So I'm sure you see the folks pouring in.
Good timing.
We thank you for that. We've got this question from Jackie. Jackie's written in saying, what do you think Portugal does right for tourists as well as the people that live there?
Hello, Jackie.
Welcome back, Jackie.
Should we all have a go at that? Because you were here recently, weren't you, Melanie?
You came over for a little break, didn't you? What was your?
I came for a vacation. So, I help people move around the world. My event on March 24th is focused specifically on Portugal, but I was lucky to have a great vacation to Portugal last month. And so I had an amazing time just as a tourist. My own experience in the off season was still amazing weather, warm people, easy to get around, really high level of English language usage for those who are only English speaking and worried about, can they actually learn another language? I didn't need a house, but I know from my interviews and all of my resources that there's lower housing costs than in many places in the US. And I experienced great food and just wandering the cobblestone alleyways and feeling really great and so happy to be there.
Oh, wonderful, Melanie. So you were treated well as a tourist then, to answer Jackie's question here?
Yes, absolutely. I think it, probably any time is a wonderful time of year to go, but certainly in that off season a little bit, probably a little less crowded, a little more opportunity for finding housing at whatever price point you needed it. There was a lot of variation, really affordable, wonderful meals, and lots of amazing history to look at and cool things to see.
Great. Can I get a couple of favorites from you? I don't want to push you on what's the best place to live, because that would upset some of the content that's coming, I think. Presumably you don't mind saying some of your favorite foods and some of your favorite locations or experiences, historic experiences.
Yeah, I think there's so many specialties that are there, and certainly the experts who I interviewed in the series get a lot more access to that living in Portugal than I do just on my vacation. But the bacalhau, so the cod, amazing. I learned all about the Black Label Iberian pork. The octopus was wonderful in various forms, and those little custard tarts in the morning. Oh, yeah. Everybody wants those. I had quite a few seafood rice opportunities. Yeah. So filling and wonderful. And I fell in love with some folks' grilled sardines.
Ooh. Yes, always great. Yes, always great. Fantastic.
They are some of the perks of being by the sea. You don't get so much fresh fish inland, do you? But, it really does come in fresh nearly every day.
That is a complaint of friends in Central. Yeah, you need to be by the coast, don't you, to get the best fish.
Yeah, and the sardines are just delicious.
Oh, yes.
And you've got to be here on the right season.
Yeah.
Okay.
So readily.
That's right. And it's I've been told off so badly for using frozen sardines. No self-respecting Portuguese person would use frozen sardines. I have been in a lot of trouble with that. Hi, Urico Mota is here. Great to see you, my friend. Hi, and Chin Chin with the Beirao. Did you try this while you were here, Melanie?
I don't think I made it to that. What are you drinking there?
It is
strictly medicinal.
A medicinal drink. Oh yes, I wouldn't normally drink in an unprofessional way whilst broadcasting, but it is a sworn by grandmas to make you feel better, and
it does smell a bit like cough mixture, doesn't it?
It really does. And Sopa de Frango is canja here. Thank you very much for that. What's this? I think you're talking about the Heisenberg principle, where if you measure something, you invariably change it. Doesn't sound as good as quantum, does it? But okay, Heisenberg theory of X.
I was thinking you were talking about the double slit experiment.
Right. Well, I think that's what it was called. Yeah, I have got a very.
But maybe that is what it's called. But they might.
Again, I heard it doesn't count if you drink it between midnight and 3 a.m. So.
Thank you. You're so welcome here. Fantastic. Okay, so thank you for that, Tom. We were talking about trucks. Oh, but I didn't show the trucks breaking ground at Herdad de Mayo, and I did promise it, so I've got to do this. It's only 30 seconds long, Melanie. I don't know if you like trucks and lorries. If you do, you're in for a treat.
fun as those little tourist tuk-tuks.
True. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. You don't get to have a go on that when you visit the Herdad de Mayo site. But Jess says truck, semi, tractor trailer, big rig. That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Colleen agrees with this idea that you can't not make an impact. I think that's what you're talking about there, Colleen. Great to see you here this evening. And I think we should be mindful of our impact when moving to a country.
Carl, you did say we were all going to answer Jackie's question. What do you think Portugal?
Jackie's question go?
Just there.
Okay, go on.
What do you think Portugal? Right, this is over to you. What do you think Portugal does right for tourists as well as the people that live there?
Well, for many people, I mean, for North Americans, for example, you can come without a visa, can't you? That's a great. You've got 90 days, haven't you, coming into the country, Melanie? As a North American, which is pretty good, isn't it? You know, that's a good start. I think as maybe you alluded to as well, Melanie, people are very friendly. Food's good, and life is quite easygoing, isn't it? And you don't want to feel like a pain as a tourist. And I think Portugal gets that right. Is, you know, I think my experience of in England as an Englishman is that you have to do things at certain times. You know, you can't ask for drinks or food at certain times. You have to fall in with the norms of society. And although Portuguese dinner is later, you can usually get something. You can usually get some hospitality all day long, especially in the big cities. Yeah. People that live here, Portugal, the government is trying to do its best for the people that live here and do the right thing. And we'll see what happens with the housing crisis as to how they perform with that. I think it's fair to say that a lot of people with rose-tinted specs and the Pollyanna Portuguese like myself have a much more positive view. But that's life, isn't it? Wherever you go in the world. I hear people talking about how amazing England is. I grew up there, so it's not the same for me. What about you, Mrs. M?
I think what Portugal does right for tourists is their includers.
Yeah.
You know, they're all natural includers. And so if you're coming during the time of the festas and things like that, they really love to, you know, include you and invite you. You know, like when you go to their events, it just feels like it's open to you. You don't feel so much like an outsider. And I think they're really great for families. You know, they absolutely love children. They'll keep an eye on your children. Whilst I remember being at the Gulbenkian Museum. Sorry. That's okay. You turned the wrong sound then, didn't you? And we were at the Gulbenkian and we had our kids running around in the garden area, and there were loads of other kids. But the Portuguese parents, they're all looking the whole time and keeping an eye out, and they didn't quite realize who our kids belonged to. And you could see loads of adults kind of sort of linking eyes just to let you know that they're also looking at your kids too. And they really are supportive of your children.
And we met a woman there, didn't we, who took photographs of our kids with our permission.
Yeah.
Not because she thought they were on a missing list or anything. We got chatting to a lovely young Portuguese woman who took this most beautiful picture. And we got chatting and she sent it to us as well. It was a really lovely moment. So, family life, care of kids, care of all the family. I would totally agree with that. Melanie, you're hanging out with us for a bit. I'm sure there are more questions coming. Just doing a bit of catching up with chat here. I think a lot of the talk about changes to the visa program wrecking foreign investment are being proven wrong. I think you're right, Tom.
I think Carl Hyde, there you go. He's got a comment. The government could create golden visa products that support social housing projects throughout the country.
Yes.
It's an interesting idea.
What a good idea that would be. And canja, again, is the chicken soup. When you're not feeling great, Portuguese chicken soup, beautiful canja. A lot of single people wouldn't want to move to the countryside. It wouldn't make sense for me. Yeah. I'm not a farming kind of person, but I don't want to build a retreat like Matty. There are some lovely little towns in Portugal that do have a social life. Could I pry, Melanie? Were you touring as a solo or in a group? And what was your experience?
I was in Portugal solo. I love traveling on my own and able to do what I want, and so traveling around to a couple different places was amazing solo there.
So you would give Portugal a good rating for traveling solo?
Oh, 1,000%.
Oh, excellent.
Did you feel safe?
1,000%. Pardon?
Did you feel safe?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think people raise questions of safety a lot when they are looking at new places as well as thinking about vacation. And it's a little bit of a tricky question, I think, right? It's a little squeaky. It depends on what you're used to. Everything's relative, right? There are many places in the States that I don't know, how safe I would consider them, or as well in other countries, right? So, you're looking at how do you feel? I use natural caution where you go anywhere, but I went out at all hours on my own, and never felt in any way like I didn't feel comfortable.
That's great. Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. For tourists, says Carl Hyde, I think a big thing is that the natives will happily converse English and make you feel welcome.
Yeah.
They love to talk about their country and are a very proud people. Yes.
Yeah, they are.
With their piri chicken. Hopefully it is the kind that warms your insides kind of heat and not burn your mouth out kind of heat. I think it's the former, Tom. It is about the taste, not the endurance test. Would you agree, Mrs. M?
Yeah. And one thing I will say is we're very, very fortunate that we have lots of, well, obviously we know lots of people that are moving over here, and there are a couple of different expats that on their journeys, they bring over hot sauce for us from various destinations.
They do.
So we've got a whole range of different hot sauces, which we definitely
but we have run low on Marmite if anyone's coming.
Yeah, if anyone's coming from the UK, we'd love some Marmite.
If you could make a mental note of that, everybody. Yes, Bob, are you still in London? Are you back home now? We snapped a pic of a pastel de nata shop in London. Show us that picture, if you will, for my show us your
I didn't
natas.
realise you guys have been to London.
To the old smoke. Last Wednesday, International Living Magazine did an event talking about moving to Portugal. Over 200 watching. So your event, Melanie, lifecoach.com, Spotlight Portugal is the one-day live event. How will it work? How do people get involved?
Sure. So the link is there for anyone who wants to check out more information. And I've got 8 great speakers that I will be doing live moderation on Friday, March 24th from 10 to 4:30 all day. That is Pacific time on the West Coast of the US and Canada. So depending on where you are, that live broadcast might work for you. It might not. But they've all got businesses, resources, great stories. And then if you can't come live, you can still drop into that link. You can choose the VIP recorded package for a really, really affordable price. That's got 11 speakers. It's got over 10 hours of information. It's got a bonus offer for My Life Abroad Masterclass. That's got 6 hours of step-by-step coaching and a workbook to move to another country. So either option's available. If you want to come and join me, you can do that free all day on Friday the 24th, or if you want to watch it anytime you want and get all the bonuses, you can do that by dropping in and choosing VIP.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
So
can I go on?
No, you carry on.
Can I ask, this isn't your first event, is it? So what other countries have you covered so far?
So I've done several other parts of the world. I last did Latin America. So we had several different countries represented there: Mexico and Costa Rica, Belize, and then I've done Panama, parts of Asia. So I've interviewed people from all over the world. Because people are interested in different regions, and this one about Portugal was so fun.
Lucky you. So you've been to all of them. You've been to all of them as well.
Pardon?
You go to all of them as well to do the
groundwork?
No,
I don't necessarily go to all of them.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't need to be as jealous as I might be then.
I hope to get to all of them one day for sure. So love to travel, love to test it as a tourist. But I've moved to other countries myself several times, both younger alone and then with a family at a later age. And so, there's processes that sometimes folks need help with. They do it for lots of different reasons: reduce spending in retirement, self-employment, digital nomads, all that. And sometimes folks, can benefit from coaching for getting action plans with timelines, or getting rid of belongings, overcoming fears, making decisions. So all of that comes from my background, actually, as a psychotherapist for many years, and just seeing that when I moved to another country, lots of people were like, "Oh, I always wanted to move to another country," but. So I want people to get over the butts and get their butt moving.
I like that. Get over the butts and get your butt moving is a strapline of this event coming up. Get valuable information on moving to Portugal. Hear inspiring stories from other expats living where you want to live. Get specifics that can answer your questions and help you overcome barriers to build your plan? And of course, that work you're talking about, people can work one-to-one with you.
Yeah. So if after the show you're more interested, you can go to the website at lifeabroadcoach.com and look at the other offerings, or click and ask for a coaching consult.
Superb. That's wonderful. And it's as simple as, look, the countdown's there. Not long now, is it? My goodness.
I know, it's creeping up.
All you have to do is put your name, email address, and phone number in there, and click the reserve my spot. Patrick's loving it. Thank you, Patrick, for being here tonight. Stephanie's in from Las Vegas. Hi from Las Vegas, says hey, Stephanie as well. Great stuff. Is there anything else people need to know, Melanie?
I don't think so. Just, hearing all of the great businesses and the personal stories, I think can really help you if you are at an impasse or want to get over a hump, or just want to reignite your dreams to move to Portugal, because it's so important for people to keep that fire lit and to keep moving forward a little bit each day. I think it doesn't happen overnight, but you can get there.
Nice bit of strategy, free of charge there. Excellent stuff. Okay. All right.
Can I just ask one more question? Is this the first country you've covered in Europe?
It is actually the first one that I focused on for a whole day in Europe. It's not the first set of interviews I've done. I've done some that included other European countries, but this is the first one totally dedicated to Portugal. That was the first European country that I've done for a whole day.
Oh, yeah. Wow. And then what was it that made you zero in on Portugal then, as opposed to the other places? Because from a British perspective, when we think about moving to mainland Europe, most people consider France, Spain, Italy and Germany. And Portugal seems a bit like a poor relative to some people.
No, I think, more and more you're seeing Portugal as a really popular alternative. And I think Portugal actually probably would trump those others for Americans and Canadians these days.
Yeah. Well said. And I was a bit gloom and doom earlier on. I was covering the papers, talking about some of the less attractive stories that are going on in Portugal. But that's a global phenomenon. I've got a serious question for you, which might come up in the butts, mightn't it? It's but there's recession in the air, but there's a global cost of living crisis. Maybe I should delay my move. Not necessarily so, right? Still might be a very good time to move.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you will hear in some of the interviews, folks who moved a long time ago, maybe there wasn't as much paperwork, or there weren't, things that you had to take care of. Yeah. But there's never as good a day as today to start moving, I think, and to start taking steps forward. I think, lots of people, maybe they wait, they think there's a perfect day, and then we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, folks who are moving because they want to reduce their burn rate or their monthly costs during retirement, that's a lot of motivation for some folks who move. And, our health, all the other things are not guaranteed. So, if you are healthy and you can do it, and, don't waste time, I think. That's how I feel.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. And thank you for addressing that. We really appreciate it. Melanie, thank you so much for being here and fitting us in today. Enjoy the rest of what time is it for you over there?
It is 6:43 on Vancouver Island in beautiful British Columbia, and a blue sky day here.
Oh, excellent. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And the rest of the weekend as well.
Yeah. We're going to have to go to bed soon, Melanie. So thank you so much.
Nice to see you again.
And see you on Friday. Take care.
All right.
All right. Lots of love.
Thanks.
Ciao. Right, so there it is, folks. And I'll put the link on the screen for you as well. No, that's Michael Bliss enjoying a glass of wine. That's not what I was looking for. There's the right link, lifeabroadcoach.com/spotlight-portugal-1-day-live. There you go. It just sounds like so far in the future, Mrs. M. March the 24th of 2023.
It really does. And it's just going to be
5 days away.
Just around the corner.
Yeah, incredible. Okay, so there you go. You can sign up there free of charge, isn't it? That event. Excellent stuff. Thank you for your comment, Nubianet, as well. On this was Jacqueline's question, how it is for tourists. Where did you put this for us? Your excellent input. The interesting thing you say about being African American is the numerous reports of how well we blend in until we open our mouths when visiting Portugal. This is a huge comfort. Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that, and that is a comfort for you. And thank you for that comment, Carl. That's really great, isn't it? It sums up the Portuguese folks. We might leave it there tonight. I just wanted to reiterate, because we are not feeling 100% this evening.
Yeah, we're not feeling very well at all.
Yeah, this will be the last Saturday evening slot. Well, yeah, for you, Sunday morning slot for us. We're going to give it a rest. Signed up. Oh, well done, Colleen. Sleep well and get well soon. That's fantastic. Thank you for signing up. We will be doing this show on a Tuesday evening, so it's not a complete loss. And it may be that Tuesday evenings are better for you rather than ruining your Saturday afternoon and evening when you've got other things fun to have, throwing shapes on the dance floor, or whatever you like to do. So we're going to try it. And we will be back next. Well, a Tuesday soon. I'm gonna pop this into the Portugal Business Club slot, and we'll move things around a little. We'll have a little bit of a remix. But basically, what will happen is from 9 till 10, we will be doing Hello America, This is Portugal. And for those who are in the Portugal Club who've joined up for that, and it's the same sort of idea that Melanie's talking about. We have a group every week where people moving to Portugal, and some have even moved here and are still enjoying the connection with other colleagues traveling in the same way, meet up every Tuesday evening. So join that and you'll get access to us between times and with the group, and you'll get access to the address book. I'm basically available to you if you become a member of the Portugal Club. If you want to do that tonight, go over to goodmorningportugal.com, the homepage, and you can sign up there. Get well, feel better. Thank you, Michael. I hope you had a great birthday. Fill up on Beryl. Thank you, Carl. Just signed up. Great speaker. Patrick's also signed up there. Get some rest, love, and hugs. Cheers, Barry.
Thank you.
Would you guys prefer living inland now that you've been living on the coast? Maybe all this coughing is to do with the humidity and moisture. Has that ever occurred to you, Mrs. M?
No, but when we arrived 5.5 years ago, I did go and see a Russian osteopath in Caldas he's the best osteopath I've ever had. He really sort of sorted me out. Anyway, he said that Caldas and being on this kind of coast, it does have a lot of dampness, and so it can get to your chest.
So you can acclimatise, or it might be a challenge. So good question, Michael.
I just think we're clearing out at the minute. We're going through detox.
Stand back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to look after myself, and that's always the classic chance, isn't it, for your body to go, let's get it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Get well soon before Wednesday meetup. Planning to see you. Lovely to see you, Bob. Then, fill up on the barrel. Good idea. Yes, it's too late for you. Thank you. Pleasure, Nubinet, to be of service in these last few weeks.
Yes, it really has. I've really enjoyed it, actually.
It is great.
It has been the highlight of my week.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we do have a great life, but I really enjoy checking in with you guys. It's really nice.
And when we finish, we're so buzzed, aren't we? We can't go to sleep. So we're up till 3, which is just crazy. We can't keep up that sort of schedule.
But I think Tuesdays will be good for us, won't they?
See you Tuesdays whenever you start them.
Are we going to not do this week, but start up the following Tuesday?
I think so. You will be informed. I'll let you know.
Yeah. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I would subscribe and click the notification bell, and that way you'll see when it's due.
Good plan. And I'll see you on Tuesday.
No flies on me.
That suits Tom. That's perfect.
Oh, that's perfect.
Get some cough syrup, he says. I already do. I already do, Tom. And I'll have one of these with you when you arrive here in Portugal, my friend. So thank you, everybody. Let's play. What should we play? A nice little video. Should we play the Diggers again? No. We'll play another little video. What haven't we played for a little while? The Invitation, that lovely view of the coast. Should we play that?
I mean, this is why we live on the coast. I mean, this little video that Carl's going to show you, it's about 20 minutes walk from us.
And
2-minute
one of
drive.
our dogs walked home on her own from there today. She's so naughty.
I'm surprised she did, because our little dog her legs are like this long. They are tiny.
She's naughty.
And she walked back on her own.
Yeah. Yes,
nutty old bag she is.
She's naughty. But this is where we were, and she decided to make her own way home. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you again soon.
And to all those mums and dads out there, happy Mother's Day and Father's Day. It's Mother's Day in the UK, and it's Father's Day here in Portugal. Ooh. So we're thinking of you all.
Excellent. All right, good night. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Boa tarde, boa noite. me a smile.